Hey, we got the sweaters out. I'm a green bean casserole.
I'm
Your
a
team's
casserole model.
casserole model. I love green beans. That means this is the Thanksgiving edition of the Produce Reporter Week in Review. Short week for everyone, except for those brave folks. I mean, it is hopefully a short week for most people in retail, but the couple of days leading up to it, I still have to go to Walmart and not looking forward to it. I have avoided Costco this week, though. It's a little too Mad Max for me. Um,
Yeah, we,
even
we
though,
might hit it after the weekend, but not before Thanksgiving. No way. I'm too faint of heart.
well, not everyone's getting all their food at the grocery store, according to a survey from Pop Menu, which I I know we took a look at it and I'm like, 75% of people who decided to hang up their aprons and let someone else cook some of their turkey day food, 75% of them said it's just easier, and 32% think it's cheaper or costs about the same as buying all the ingredients to cook. And listen, that Costco apple pie, I mean, Costco pumpkin pie for $5.99, and it's like bigger than your head. Yes, can confirm that is cheaper than
Yeah,
buying all the ingredients.
some of
So
that's
that,
legit.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
so it sticks out because the big news is 37% of consumers say they plan to order takeout or delivery from restaurants for Thanksgiving. That more than a third, can that possibly be? And then you look into it more, and it's includes any single dish. So are a third of the people bringing maybe one dish from a restaurant? That doesn't seem that ridiculous at all.
no, especially when you mentioned like the pie thing. A lot of people just aren't pie people. There are some super easy recipes out there that are just tried and true. Everyone should know how to make these, but maybe I'm coming that from a judgmental ingredient household point of view. Not everyone has skills in the kitchen, nor do they care to acquire them. So if you can outsource
Yeah.
that, why not?
It's also not the kind of holiday that you take a chance on something that may or may not turn out.
Right?
That doesn't fly when you've got other people counting on you and it's the number one food oriented holiday.
Every
It's not for stuff that we know is going to work.
Everyone has that aunt that is only allowed to bring drinks, right? I've got that aunt
Yeah,
that
mine's a cousin, but that's okay. We
this
enjoy his company.
yes, what matters is we're getting together for the holiday. And what I thought was interesting, when asked how much they anticipate they will spend on Thanksgiving dinner for themselves and their guests, the average amount was $170. That is a little more than the retail 50, what was it, $55 for the
Yeah.
average Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah, well,
Um,
that's we've seen that list, and that's the bare bones Thanksgiving.
yeah.
That did none of it included like apps, um, charcuterie boards. That's not ridiculous. None of it included food, like drinks. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
has wine and cocktails. That can easily be half the cost of the meal right there.
Yeah, for sure. Like, but this is for people who like to party on Thanksgiving. This isn't just the bare bones basic meal. So maybe we need to hang out with the Pop Menu folks for their Thanksgiving feast.
Mine's going to be considerably more than $8 a person. I can pretty much.
Well, we
Also, the dine in, I think we talked about this last year. It was, according to this survey, last year, 17% said they would dine at a restaurant for Thanksgiving, which still seems very high to me. And this year, it's down to 5%. So it dropped from 17 last year to 5 this year. That is
wow.
that's a significant drop. I mean, um, almost 1 out of 5 people down to 1 in 20 now. It could have to do with possibly less travel to maybe exotic locations where you have to dine out. Maybe that's where people are showing the effects of the economy and inflation.
Right. That could be
Because I mean, if
possible.
you're going to Hawaii for the Maui basketball tournament, you're going to be dining out on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right. Unless you're at an Airbnb and you're cooking Hawaiian Thanksgiving food, but why would you? Right? Maybe you blow all your cash getting the plane tickets to go to Maui.
You can heat up food in Airbnbs. It's hard to cook from scratch when you have no ingredients with you.
Right. We had another survey this week that I thought was interesting. And the funniest part of it is John Pandel sent me this survey, and I know he took it, and I took it too. So I'm reading I'm like, oh wait a minute. I know this, I know these questions.
This
Um,
looks familiar.
Market Force information, which just fields a bunch of surveys. I don't even know how John got a hold of it, but he was telling me you got to take a look at this because they still have Fresh and Easy Neighborhood Market as an option for one of the retailers. And I go look through this list, and they still have Pathmark as one of the retailers on here. And I don't know how long people have been in retail, but Pathmark crashed and burned long ago. There
Yeah,
is
it's
one
been
of them.
gone. You didn't even have kids when that thing went under.
Right?
Now one of them can drive. That's a long
Yeah.
time.
But the we were two of 4,300 consumers across the US, heavily weighted in the southeast. I'll get to that in a second. Who were talking about their leading warehouse and club stores, uncovering the brands that deliver value, trust, and satisfaction. And the number one choice was Walmart, uh, which is a choice. I mean, they are the most prolific grocer in America if you're not counting a discounter like Dollar General. Um, and then followed by Kroger, Aldi, Costco, and Publix, which I think someone in Oregon would probably think Publix is an interesting choice as well. Um, but consumers overwhelmingly put pricing and value as their top factors. Usually on surveys, consumers pick something like fresh food, quality, but right now pricing is the number one factor in what draws someone to uh, one of their grocers. I did think that was interesting that the trust leaders were Lidl, Sam's Club, and Hannaford. Sam's Club, though, and for a while there, do you remember back in the day when they closed hundreds of Sam's Club stores? That was maybe 10 years ago. When Sam's Club was really struggling to compete in that club store sphere, and Costco was just kicking its butt. Um, Sam's Club these days is a different kind of club. They've stepped up their marketing, they've stepped up their technology, their offerings. I know a lot of people who are Team Sam's Club definitely over Team Costco, even though I am a Costco stan till the end of my days.
It does. I don't, there isn't one convenient for me, but I know people who shop there, and it seems like they're much better at delivering on their promise,
Yeah.
which is which is a good a good strategy. I mean, you got to be something and be true to that. I mean, we talked a little bit about Target struggles in the past, and Wall Street Journal even had a story this week on Target struggles, and I'm not sure who they are anymore. Who are they trying to be? That's a
That
problem.
it is a problem because they're not the cheapest and they're not the nicest. They don't have the most selection. What they did when they went to this department store concept, like compacting down and putting things on end caps and trying to make it look like they're, Macy's. And Macy's is having its own problems. Why would you want to emulate a department store when department stores are struggling? Like they are the struggle bus of retail. I don't understand. They're almost worse off than electronics stores. Um, Unless you've got a really good reason, you're not buying in person at Best Buy. You're showrooming and you're buying online because you found the cheapest thing because every widget is the same.
Yeah,
And
or Costco and Walmart have figured that out too.
right. Yeah. And they do have exclusive deals if you go in person at Costco and Walmart. Like you can get the Costco member price and you can get the Costco member returns. Although they're a little trickier with electronics, but when it comes to food, like we're seeing more differentiation than we had before when we're talking about Sam's Club. Another one of the ones, Sam's, BJ's, and Costco are gaining ground with gaining ground on Sam's and BJ's, sorry, on this market force thing are gaining ground on Costco. And it's funny they should mention BJ's because BJ's is that one that we're like, oh yeah, that guy, the also ran. BJ's though is getting big enough in its britches to raise its membership fees next year. So I thought that was really interesting that
I did see
they
that. What do you know how far west they go?
I think Tennessee, maybe like
Okay.
the Mississippi River. Maybe I don't think they've got any west of the Mississippi. Somebody could correct me on that one, but I'm not gonna look it up right now. But I don't see them any farther west than that. Another one of the interesting points was that 20% of consumers are considering shopping at a different grocery store um, because they want to find something different. And that probably is different in value and price. Um, so it's better produce, one-stop shopping, and higher quality meat are the most common motivators for those considering a change. But I'm wondering, I don't remember the question, but I'm wondering if costs less was on the list of attributes for change consideration on there. So it was an interesting study. I just thought it was really funny because I had taken that survey. And to go out there and see it as a press release and know that I was one of those 4,300 consumers, was
How
kind of
long
funny.
ago was it?
Like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
Okay.
maybe.
They
Not
turned it
that
around
long.
pretty quick then.
Yeah, I mean, everything's digital now. So, and they didn't really do too much analysis on it. They just looked at the results and published, right?
Right.
Um,
Well, let's talk about one more thing before we wrap it up. A Secretary of Agriculture person was nominated. It's not someone very familiar in ag, I don't think. Not an extensive ag background. Brooke Rollins is her name. She runs a think tank in Texas. So she's a Texas Gen Xer. I mean, we got that.
yeah, I mean, but we could have had Sarah Fry
Could have had Sarah
from
Fry.
Fry
Yeah.
Farms. Yeah, her name
There
was
were
thrown
some
out
other
there
rumors
again.
of produce people I heard bandied about. Um,
I think right now, especially with all the stuff that's just hitting the mainstream media every single day, there's something new to, the over the this week there was also speculation of 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods across the board. We've got nominations for Ag Secretary. None of it is real until it's actually real.
None of it's
Um,
real, yeah, especially till I think January 20th is the day. So now it's posturing and negotiating. I think maybe we need to take a return to 2016 and remember how that started off because that President-elect Trump did the same thing. He started negotiating and putting things out there and seeing how things go. And uh, it did not result in everything being stopped at the border from the produce perspective. So that's my suspicion. And also, we do, like we mentioned earlier, we do have a new president in Mexico too. So there's a feeling out period of each of them getting what they want for their citizens and key constituents. So we got some time to figure that out.
Trying to figure that out to throw some spaghetti on the wall and see how many riots there are about it. But for now, we'll just sit back and eat some popcorn, I guess. Um,
Turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes.
and don't forget your cranberry sauce. I want my crisp slice of that. I did buy a bag of cranberries. I went to Aldi the other day, telling myself I would not buy $20 worth of fancy cheese. I bought $20 of fancy cheese, some celery, and some cranberries. So
Good.
I will see what I can make out of real cranberries in addition to my crisp slice of the canned sauce. All right, that's it for the Produce Reporter Weekend Review. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producebluebook.com and sign up.